Hi, 1 Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to show you how to install a Ring wired doorbell. So this is the latest Ring doorbell that came out in 2021, and its biggest advantage is that it has a much lower cost than any of the other Ring doorbells. This comes in at sub $70 and sometimes even less than that. So we've got our existing doorbell here. It does work, and we're going to install this. Now, this new Ring wired doorbell needs to be hardwired. There's no battery in here that you can remove or replace like you might have had on the Ring Doorbell 2. So that's important to note. A couple other important things to note about this before we get started installing is that it will disable your existing doorbell chime. You have to put this jumper wire in at your doorbell chime, and your existing doorbell chime will no longer work. So what that means is that you're only going to get a notification on your phone when somebody presses the doorbell. You're not going to get a chime anymore. However, Ring does have a chime that will connect remotely to this doorbell so that you can hear when somebody presses the button in your home if you don't have your phone with you, or if you just want to have a more traditional doorbell chime. And this just plugs in. You can plug this in anywhere, any outlet, and it will connect wirelessly to the doorbell. So you could put this where you want it. Maybe you want it in a bedroom, maybe you want it in the living room, maybe you want more than one. You can do that with this remote chime, but your existing doorbell chime will be disabled. Now, one unique aspect to the Ring Doorbell Wired is that it only requires 10 to 24 volts AC, which is a lower voltage requirement than most other smart doorbells, which means this is going to be compatible with more doorbell transformers and more doorbell wiring. Even if your transformer only puts out 10 volts or 12 volts, that's going to be enough for this Ring wired doorbell, which makes it very versatile. Now, in order to get this installed, the very first thing we need to do is cut the power off to the existing doorbell. So we're going to go down to our circuit breaker, and we're going to cut off the power at the circuit breaker for this doorbell. And if you can't find the circuit breaker, the other option you have is to take the doorbell wire off the doorbell transformer temporarily while you get everything else installed out here. So let's go down to the circuit breaker, and we're going to turn off the power. All right, now we're down at the circuit breaker. So let's go ahead and turn off the circuit breaker that controls our doorbell. We're going to flip that one off, and now the power is cut off to the doorbell. Confirm that by either trying to press your doorbell or testing it with a non-contact voltage meter. So here we are at the doorbell chime. You're just going to remove your cover, and then that exposes the wiring. So what we've got here is our transformer terminal and our front door terminal, or the wire that goes to the front door. And what we need to do is just install this jumper in between these two. So what you're going to do is loosen the screws on both of these terminals, and then you're going to leave these wires on there and install this jumper wire between the two terminals. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we just tighten the terminals back down on the new jumper wire that we've installed. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the doorbell chime cover. We've got the power cut off to the doorbell, so it's a good idea to press it to make sure it no longer works and that we know the power is off. Also, you can use a non-contact voltage meter like we've got here to see if there's any voltage left on this doorbell, and there is not. So that means it's safe to remove. We're going to go ahead and take these two screws off, and then we're going to disconnect the wiring on the back of the doorbell. Now we just pull the doorbell forward, and we've got two terminals that we need to disconnect the wiring from here on the back. So go ahead and unscrew each one of these. Now we're ready to install the Ring wired doorbell. So in order to do that, we need to get the cover off of this. And what I found the easiest way to get this cover off is go ahead and press in the middle of the device while holding the edges. There's an outer cover here, and it pops off, and then that's going to give you access to this because you need to access the screw hole here and here to mount this to the wall. Now on the back side, that's where we've got our two terminals, so you just need to loosen those two up, and then you're going to wire one of these wires to each one of these terminals. Make sure they're not shorting out. If you need to trim them up a little bit, do so. If you need to strip a little bit more wire, go ahead and do that as well. So we're going to loosen these up, attach these terminals to the wires, make sure that the wires aren't shorting out against each other, and then we're going to go ahead and secure it with the 2 screws on the top of the bottom here. You put the cover back on, make sure you've got Ring logo facing the right direction. And then at the bottom of this, there's a little screw right here that's going to secure the cover into the doorbell, and that just keeps everything in place there, so it's harder to tamper with. So let's go ahead. We're going to get those wires wired up to the back of the Ring wired doorbell. We've got one wire on, so let's go ahead and secure it. Now let's get the other wire on. We've got the other wire on, so let's go ahead and secure it down with the terminal screw. Neither one of the wires is shorting out against each other, so now we're ready to go ahead. Let's push that wire a little bit back into this doorbell hole, and let's see where we're going to mount this. Now let's position the doorbell where we want it on the door frame, and then we're just going to install the screw. Now make sure you have the doorbell level and positioned how you want it, and then go ahead and install the second screw down here at the bottom. Now that we've got this installed and wired up, I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on. And that's because there's a code on the side here that I'm going to need to scan to get this set up. So now that we've got this wired, let's go restore the power at the circuit breaker. Now that the power's been restored at the circuit breaker, the Ring doorbell is powering up and you can see the light there. So now we're ready to get it set up on the Ring app. If you haven't done so already, download the Ring app and you're going to create a username and password and log in. So we've already done that, and now we're ready to set up our Ring doorbell. We go up here in the upper left hand corner and we're going to click on the menu options. Now we're going to go down to the middle here and we're going to click on set up a device. Now we've got different options here. We're going to click on doorbells here at the top. It says scan the code on your Ring device. You can also find it on the product packaging. So the code for the Ring wired doorbell is right over here. You could just go ahead and scan that. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I get this scanned. Once I scan the QR code that is available on either the box or the side of the doorbell right here, the next screen asks, where would you like to set up your wired doorbell? So I'm just going to go ahead and click continue here. Now we need to give it a name. We're going to call this one front door. It says, has your wired doorbell been installed? Yes, it's been installed. So I'm going to click that bottom option here. Did you install the included jumper cable? Yes, we did. It says, wait for the video wired doorbell to enter setup mode. It says the light is spinning, so I'm going to click on that. It says, tap connect on the following screen. I'm just going to go ahead and click got it. Now we click on our Ring doorbell here and it will start connecting.
To the Ring app.
It asks, did we install the jumper cable? Yes, we installed it. We just clicked past that last screen because the doorbell is currently working. Now I'm going to click on the Wi-Fi network and we're going to enter our username and password. It says fill in the blanks with snapshot capture.
Successful. Now installing an update. This may take several minutes.
So you probably heard the Ring talking to us. It is setting up. And even though we got that error message that we didn't have enough power, I knew that we had enough power because I tested the voltage on this prior to installing it. We've got another video that shows you how to test the voltage. We had about 12 volts here, so that was more than the 10 volts required for the Ring doorbell. I don't know why that error message popped up, but it might pop up for some of you, and you could potentially just dismiss it, and it should still work. Now it says fill in the blanks with snapshot capture. This feature lets certain Ring devices capture a continuous series of images throughout the day and night. Swipe through them like a time lapse on your timeline to keep in touch with what happens between events. I'm going to click got it. It says success. Your video doorbell wired is now set up and ready to protect you. We're going to go ahead and click continue. It says just a few steps left to get the best from your Ring device. We're going to click continue. I'm not going to share this for now. I'm just going to skip it. It says your Ring products work even better as a team. I'm going to go ahead and click skip for now. Now I can optimize motion zones, but I'm going to go ahead and click skip for now. Now I'm going to click I'm done. So now our Ring doorbell populated on the app and it is connected. Now, it's going to take up to 15 minutes for the software to update on the doorbell. And so we're going to give it a moment here for that software to update. And then we're going to test out a couple features on the Ring Doorbell Wired. And we're going to go ahead and put the cover on right now while we're waiting to do that. So we just go ahead and install our cover on in the correct orientation here. Just go ahead, snap that into place. And then there is this tiny little screw right here, and that's going to go in the bottom right here. And you're going to use this screwdriver that comes with your Ring doorbell to go ahead and screw that in. And all this does is really just prevent it from being tampered with. So go ahead and we're going to screw that screw in. Get it nice and tight there, and then that is going to make it a little bit harder for it to get tampered with or someone to pull this out and you don't have access to the screws anymore. So now that we've got the cover on, let's wait for that update to complete and see how this thing works. Now the update is complete, so let's go ahead. We're going to click on the front door doorbell here, and now we're going to go click tap to go live, and that's going to give us a live view of what is going on here. You can see my hand waving there at the camera, and you can see us there. If we want to enlarge it, we can do this right here, and then you're going to get the full size view on this. So now if I wanted, I could even talk to myself here. Some crazy feedback there, so we're going to stop that. But then you're also going to be able to watch these different events here, the motion events, and scroll through those with your Ring wired camera. So this has most of the features of the more expensive Ring doorbells. The main difference being that this requires wiring and it's going to disable your existing doorbell chime. And what that means is that you're going to need to set up one of these portable chimes, which for some people is actually a benefit because you're going to be able to place this if you've got a larger home where you want it, so you'll be able to hear this doorbell, and you can connect multiple of these wireless chimes to your Ring doorbell, so you can put these wherever you want throughout your house, and they just have a standard plug right there. They plug into any outlet. So we've got another video down below that's going to show you how to connect your Ring doorbell to your Ring chime, so go ahead and check that out in the links in the descriptions. But thank you for watching this video on how to install your Ring wired doorbell. Please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, or click any of the links below if you want to support us. Thank you.